There's another element to all of this, and it's the efforts of Daniel Snyder and company to get free money from the state of Virginia to build their new stadium. Virginia State Senator Jeremy McPike was on 106.7 The Fan in D.C. yesterday, and he, who had at one point was in favor of public money for a Commanders stadium in Virginia, he said that Del Rio's comments were the nail in the coffin for public stadium funding. Now, it was already moving in a way against public funding in Virginia for the Commanders. I don't like the idea of political retaliation against the Commanders for what Jack Del Rio said. I don't like it, and I don't think that's appropriate. But I also don't like the idea of free money for these billionaire owners to build their stadiums. So the end justifies the means here. Because at the end of the day, if it means Daniel Snyder isn't getting a penny from the state of Virginia, good. Because none of these guys and gals should be getting free money for their stadiums. If the Broncos are going to sell for $4.65 billion, they can afford to buy their own damn stadiums. And the taxpayer money should be devoted to real projects to help real people, not the oligarchs who become just below, the true rulers of the country. They're the ones pulling the strings on the people who rule the country. They can build their own football stadiums. So Del Rio's comments did not help, but at the end of the day, good for Virginia if they don't give Daniel Snyder a penny to build a stadium.
Probably loves Jack Del Rio today. He probably loves him. I'm sure it's very happy to have him as an employee right now.
Now, Del Rio issued an apology. I want to be fair to him because he put this on Twitter after all the stuff happened and after Senator Jeremy McPike said that his comments were the nail in the coffin for public funding of a Commanders stadium in Virginia. I made comments earlier today in referencing the attack that took place on the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021. Referencing that situation as a dust-up was irresponsible and negligent, and I am sorry. I stand by my comments condemning violence in communities across the country. I say that while also expressing my support as an American citizen for peaceful protest in our country. I have fully supported all peaceful protests in America, except kneeling for the anthem. I love, respect, and support all my fellow coaches, players, and staff that I work with and respect their views and opinions. Now, the kneeling for the anthem was my editorial comment that was added to his statement because he spoke out against Colin Kaepernick's protest during the national anthem back in 2016. So again, it's stick to sports unless what you're doing is something that I agree with. And I don't really think he's sorry. I don't think he's sorry. He's smart enough to know what he was saying. He knew what the reaction was going to be when he used the word dust up. He knew. He was apologizing because somebody higher up in the organization told him, hey, Jack, you got two choices. Pack your stuff and go, or apologize for calling the insurrection a dust up.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see where it goes. It's troubling. And again, I can't stand it. It's annoying because it's going to, again, we just talked about it. It's a hot button topic. I already got people I know that are, in my, bubble of friends and who, of course are get angry when I talk about this stuff. I see fathers who I know are going to give me the cold shoulder now, over the next week because I said something about God King Trump. So now I'm the enemy, right. And that's where it's so messed up. And again, I'm disappointed that he brought it up. I'm interested to see if he survives. I really will. And it's just all annoying. It's annoying.
I look at it this way. It's not like it's Bill Belichick defensive coordinator. It's Jack Del Rio defensive coordinator of a defense that was underwhelming last year. So, what we usually say is the more talent a player has, the more stuff that a team will tolerate. I think the same thing applies to a coach. I mean, if it's Vince Lombardi, you're going to deal with some stuff. This guy isn't Vince Lombardi. So that makes it even more likely or possible. Who knows? Ron Rivera's not going to want to turn his team upside down. After last year with all the dysfunction with guys not wanting to get vaccinated, and Ron's a cancer survivor and they still wouldn't get vaccinated out of respect for him and all these. I think he'd rather just not have the issues. But at some point, Coach, you got a tough issue that you got to deal with. And it may be that we'll see. We'll see what the players really think. We don't know because they're not going to tell us. But if there is some movement that is going to make it hard for players to respond to Jack Del Rio the way they should, I don't know. Maybe there will be a change by the time training camp rolls around. All right, let's take a break. I've already glanced at my email inbox. Chris, I am going to be cursing you all day long, although I will acknowledge that number one, I said plenty of stuff on my own. And number two, I know that when I say some things, you're going to say some things. And sometimes things need to be said. There's too much walking on eggshells in this country today because we're afraid we're going to upset people who are pushing false agendas. I don't care if I upset people who are pushing false agendas. We need to be committed to the truth. That is the one thing that disappoints me more than anything else about the state of our nation today. There is no commitment to truth. I grew up with one basic principle hammered into my mind constantly by my mother. Always tell the truth. Didn't we always respect, was it George Washington? I cannot tell a lie. I cut down the cherry tree. I don't know why the hell the kid cut down the cherry tree, but at least he didn't lie about it. There needs to be a basic and fundamental commitment to truth. That's why we're off track. There isn't that core commitment to truth and facts and reality.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.